Welcome. I'm Ashley Butler, President and Chief Solution Officer here at Ice Cold Air.
I'm Adrian Julius Butler, Vice President at Ice Cold Air.
And we're happy to have you here this morning. I want to share with you my journey here at Ice Cold Air, my vision for where we're going. Take a look. My name's Ashley Butler. I'm a Tampa native. I went to the University of South Florida, so go Wolves. I love this community. I am indebted to the opportunity that Ice Cold Air created for myself, my family, and my community. And I look forward to sharing this opportunity with many other families in the future. So it's a very serendipitous story. I was actually standing in line at a Panera Bread in Hyde Park, and I met the original founder, Alan Ayers. He was standing in line in front of me. He was wearing one of those cool Tommy Bahama shirts with all the Tabasco sauce all over it, and he was telling jokes. And I could tell at the moment that this was his, watering hole or his knuckle stomp. And he started telling jokes, and everyone was laughing. And I laughed really hysterically at one of the jokes, and he turned around and he said, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "You, sir." And that's how our friendship began. He told me about his youthful entrepreneurship. I told him about my entrepreneurship ventures. And he told me he had an opportunity that he'd like me to look at. And so back then, this was before the iPhone was even invented, I had a planner. So I opened up my planner. I get to the end of the semester after finals, and I said, "Put your number here, I'll call you." And then several months later, I got to the end of the semester. I gave him a call, and he said, "Wow, you called me." And I said, "Yeah, I told you I'd call you." And he said, "People don't do what they say they're gonna do." And I said, "Well, I do." And he was like, "I want you to meet some people." He introduced me to the people who were running his company, the president and the vice president, and they shared with me the Ice Cold Air opportunity. And how they say, the rest is history. Actually, I never worked for Ice Cold Air. I was in the dry cleaning business with some friends in Mango, and I owned a portion of that. I was the chief operating officer of that while I was completing at USF. And so I sold my shares of the dry cleaning business, liquidated those shares, also pulled some money out of a piece of real estate I bought in Ybor City, and I used that money to buy a franchise. So I actually was never even an employee. Just a very young whippersnapper who knew the vision of entrepreneurship, knew the understanding of assets and liabilities. Just been very fortunate to have some great mentors in my life. We didn't necessarily have core values as we have today, but I think that hard work was instinctive, and also he wanted us to have community. Alan would always say he wanted us to talk to each other in the different shops and pretty much share experiences to help each other get through and learn. And so the community, relationships are everything. If I had to correlate something that Alan taught me with the vernacular that we use now, relationships are everything, and community and taking care of each other, those were the things that were instinctive in what he was teaching us on how to be successful. We have 5 core values. Relationships are everything. Always do your best. Your word is your bond. That is one that I got from my mom. Takes you 20 years to build a reputation and 5 years to mess it all up. Be positive. That's definitely it. And we take care of people. You have to take care of people in order to employ people. You have to take care of people in order to serve people properly. And caring for others is very important. Those core values, I think, they work at work and they also work at home. And we found, since we implemented those in 2018, that we watched families become more holistic, and we've watched relationships get better and parenting get better because of these intentional ways of thinking. I believe that opportunity is why most of us love this great land. And it's necessary that people who have opportunity share opportunity. And so at Ice Cold Air, I was given an opportunity as a young person without any automotive experience. I just had the will to learn, the drive to work, and access to resources. So when we employ someone, we are observing them. We're deciding what is it that they're needing? What is it that's holding them back? And when you work with people over a period of time, you can see certain things where they're seeking. We put out a exercise at our very first store to have everyone purchase a home because we were sitting around socializing and everybody was saying they were tired of being renters. And so we said, okay, we're going to do this. And so we had a budgeting person come in from the bank. Then we had a mortgage coach come in. Then we introduced them to real estate professionals. We had started explaining to them what a personal finance statement is and how in life you can always have a bunch of liabilities, but the real game is to take your cash, your income, and convert it into assets. This is something that I learned very young that put me in the position to take advantage of this. Not everybody has those types of coaches or people who are willing to open up the playbook of success. And at Ice Cold Air, I'm committed to that. My team is committed to that. We want everyone to win. It's just more fun when everyone is successful or no one is lacking in areas that they shouldn't. And not for the lack of access to information. A lot of times, access to information and someone being willing to listen to you, understanding your circumstance, not worrying about where you came from, just helping you get where you're going. If I had to leave any message for our teammates, for our franchisees, for people who are looking at this opportunity to be in business with us or simply to be our customers, I would say that we believe in an equitable community. We believe that people can come together with different beginnings and all end up where they need to be. If you come to my shop and you're in between jobs and you just really need an affordable oil change and some brake pads, we're not going to tell you you got to have the whole car fixed. We're going to tell you everything that we see. And then we're going to break it down into pieces the same way that me and my mom had to do when we were young and she had a little junker car. And we went to local shops and they treated us that way. These are old school principles that I think get lost in my pursuit of capitalism. I don't let that bloody up or murk up the waters, because you can do good for people and do well in life at the same time. You don't have to exploit or take advantage of people to execute on being great or creating wealth. And so what I would say is, as a customer, you're safe. If anything ever happens, reach out to us. We will make it right. That's us. Otherwise, my mom will probably come and get me. And the other thing is, for our teammates, we care for you. We want you and your family to win. We want your grandkids to look at you and put you up on a mantle and say what you've done for their family, for your legacy. Those things are important. And for the people who are just passerbyers, we want you to understand that this is a brand that is safe and you can champion. If you're a charity in the community and you need a place to help share your mission, maybe be a place for people to drop off clothes or food or cans, we have multiple locations over 5 counties right now. And so we're willing to make a connection with you to where you have drop points that are easy for people to drop things off instead of them having to go around. So we're committed to being a part of this community for a very long time. I've had a 19-year career so far with Ice Cold Air. I have no plan on putting the brakes on anytime soon. Just want to make sure that I make as much of a positive impact as I can and leave this world better than it found me. So this is a great story. Going from being a franchisee to being a franchisor. Let's see, 2023 is when the transition happened. We knew the transition was going to happen in 2022. This was post-pandemic. I would say kind of wrapping up what we all went through in this nation, where we learned a lot. We learned a lot about opportunity. We learned a lot about personal time. We learned a lot about people wanting to be heard and felt, and there was just this whole shift. And so the leadership that was in charge of the company were ready to take on being grandparents and exploring living in other places, because that was a part of their vision. They had done what they could do with Ice Cold Air, and they looked at the track record of my outlet, and I had been over the years picking up outlets, helping them turn them around, helping them train people, implementing many of our processes. My team, being Adrian and myself, we have been very implemental in making Ice Cold Air better. And so when it came time for their succession plan, of course, they came to us, being the leading franchisee, and we couldn't see anyone else caring for this company the way we could, and the way we will, and the way we do. And so even though it wasn't really on our bingo card to take on that much responsibility of the existing franchisees, we were ready to step up to the plate so that we can take this company where we know it can go. Moving forward, my biggest excitement is helping franchisees through their succession plan. Most franchises have a franchisee for about 5 years, and then they pivot on to something else. They try something, maybe they go out on their own, they do something along those lines. Right now, I'm excited to help some people who are ready for retirement. We have some franchisees that have been around for 20 years. We got one that's 20 years. We got one that's like 10 years. We have some really good tenured franchisees, and they've done a great job. They've built a good business. So to help them exit profitably and bring in some new, wide-eyed, ready-to-go people, it excites me. It excites me because there's so much new technology. We've just updated our point-of-sale system this year in Q2. We are rebuilding our entire intranet, our entire back office, and with all this new technology, workflows to help make the franchisees' life cycle even more bountiful. We're ready to implement all the new things we've been developing, and seeing some new people come and take the reins, and helping some people get to being pawpaw and grandma and going on to maybe living in another country or doing whatever it is they want because they've done a good job. So we want to help people make their way through life. This year, we had a franchisee who had a really good technician, and it was pretty much integral in this business. And when we took over the company, this franchisee came to us and said, "We have the perfect franchisee. I have the perfect guy, and I'm going to hire him back to my company." And I think that, once he gets in here, he's going to be perfect for your Newport Richey location. After about 2 years, and the timing was right, he bought his first franchise in April Q2 of this year, 2025. We just actually had his focus day, which is our planning day for our franchisees for the next 13 weeks, quarterly planning, as most people would see it. And he is really crushing it. He has a new family. He is exactly why I want to do this. People like him are exactly why I want to do this. They're great at a thing, but they have all the character to make them amazing leaders, amazing team builders, and they can go out and they can hang their shingle and make a difference in their community. He's already put in to adopt a school in his area. He's doing I'm just so proud. And so I know there's more people like him because I was like him. I needed an opportunity. I needed a place to where I can hang my shingle, where I can put my efforts to a goodwill for my family. And so, our teammates that are currently in the company and they have aspirations to ascend through the progression, whether that's being from porter to manager, porter to technician, to advisor, to manager, to franchisee. People are looking for a lot of responsibility or a little bit of responsibility. We have opportunities along the spectrum. So absolutely, people within the organization, we're looking at you first because you understand our core values. You are in the company. You are bought in first. And we also offer the opportunities to outsiders, because I was an outsider. That's how I got here. But we definitely want our teammates to know that opportunity is always welcome to you, and we are always welcome to talk to you about progression and growth. We don't have aspirations to scale for the sake of scaling. We will scale as the need or the opportunities arise. We are not greedy people. We are intentional people. And sometimes people get lost in top line numbers because they're sensational. $50 million. Well, I know people who make that type of money and they lose a few $1,000,000 a year, right? And so that's not our intention. Our intention is to build a foundationally strong, amazing company. And if it happens to be a niche boutique experience, then it can be that. And then if it happens to be a national chain, a national franchise, then it'll become that, and I'll find my successor to lead that effort. But whatever Ice Cold Air is going to be something people can be proud of. It's going to be somewhere that when you walk in the grocery store, you're happy to see this brand on your shirt. Your neighbors will call you and ask you about their cars. They'll talk to you about things going on, and that's our intention. So we don't have an exact number. We've identified some communities that we would love to be in, absolutely, but we're not pressing it. We're very patient. What Ice Cold Air means to me is opportunity. It means community. It's given me my life, and I'm so grateful.